more formal in the beginning than what we had this afternoon, so I appreciate your attention and respect. I'm going to lay out the order of events. I'm going to have the governor come up first, Governor Perry. Come on up, Governor. Now, hopefully he has located 3 willing individuals to give the invocation. That would be 1, lead the pledge, number 2, and lead the national anthem, number 3. And remember, any of you that are willing to do this, want to do this, come and see the governor.
Not right away, though. I only have like so much space in my brain. I can't hold too many names, all right? So come find me at the cabin, Panhandle, far end of the campus.
So I'd like for Governor Perry to call up the 3 individuals who are going to participate this evening. But I want to get them on the stage here, positioned, and then I'm going to explain what's going to happen.
All right. Tonight, for the pledge, I'd like to call up Ethan from Webster Cottage. For the prayer, I'd like to call up Andrew Callahan from Randolph Cottage. And for the national anthem, I'd like to call up Devin Kimball from Panhandle Cottage.
Are you the prayer? Yes. I'd like for you to stand right here. Do not knock over the pillars. Are you the pledge or pledge? Great. You'll be right here. Need to make room so people could come through here, as you'll soon see. And then you're the anthem. Good. Face this way. Move over just a little bit. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do the invocation first. And after the invocation occurs, that is a signal for the FBI Honor Guard to post the colors this evening. And they will come up and post the colors. Once the colors are posted and they assume a hand salute position, present arms, that is the signal for the individual leading the pledge to begin leading the pledge. And as soon as the pledge is done, we'll move into the national anthem. So at this time, we will have the prayer leader come over and give us our invocation. Can I have everybody rise, please? And then you will go back into this position when you're done.
Let us pray. Holy God, we thank you for this day at Boise State. We thank you for bringing us all here safely. Lord, I thank you for this beautiful day you've given us and for the activities we've had so far. I pray that you would bless the young men in this room, Lord, that you would watch over us throughout this week and that you would encourage our hearts and give us bravery to step up and stand up and do these things, Lord, to better our futures and build leaders out of these men, Lord. I pray for the rest of this week and this night, Lord, that you would bless it and watch over it and guide the leaders, Lord, in the way you would have them go. It's in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Present.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for
join me in singing the national anthem?
Mark down. Come on.
You may be seated. You guys are doing an excellent job. I'm sincere when I say that. You're about a day ahead of where every other Boys State program's been in regards to enthusiasm. At this time, I'd like to call up Sergeant Johnston from the FBI Police. I had the privilege, I think the honor of working for the FBI for 25 years, 42 days, and 47 minutes of my life. And I have the utmost respect for the FBI police force. We have been fortunate to have them come to Boys State for many years, and they are extremely professional. And a little emotional for me to talk about the FBI family I was part of for such a long time. This is Sergeant Johnston, who I've known for years. I want to give you a Boys State Challenge coin in appreciation of you coming down here. I would like to give you the opportunity to address the 2016 American Legion Mountaineer Boys State and introduce the other members of your detail.
Thank you, Randall. Appreciate it. How's everybody doing this evening? I want to introduce my team over here. First off, I have Officer First Class Gerald Wells. Go ahead and come on up, Jerry. Next, I have Officer Judd Holcomb. And then also I have Officer Adam Alton. But I just want to say a couple words. I know I don't have to tell you this, but I just can't leave it without being said that to remind you what a fantastic opportunity you have this week to come here and learn and celebrate democracy. And I want you to make the best of it, and be serious about it. But yet have fun. But it's a fantastic opportunity. And where else do you have the opportunity to come and do something like this? And then I want to remind you to show the respect and honor those that give you the opportunity, that have served and sacrificed, and give you the opportunity to come here and have the freedom to be able to do something like this and celebrate democracy. So, thank you.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you an individual who's become a good friend of mine. We work real hard on this program. We're on the phone a lot with one another throughout the year. This gentleman does a horrendous amount of work in support of the American Legion Mountaineer Boys State. Just a horrendous amount of work. He loves the program. He loves you guys. That's why he's here, giving his time. It's my honor and pleasure to introduce the director of the American Legion Mountaineer Boys State, Jim Davis.
Of course, when I accepted this job, they didn't tell me I had to give a speech. This is, I think, my 5th year of being director. In our organization, you work to be a leader. You can move up through the ranks, and you'll hear about how you do that later on in the program. In 08-09, I got to be a national vice commander. There's 1 commander and 5 vice commanders, and there's 2.8 million American Legion members. So I had 10 states I got to travel. Well, our state commander, our national commander at that time, had some words of wisdom he always gave. And so now that you have proven you are and will be the leaders at your schools, I have 3 words that I would like for you to take some time to think about and what the meaning of these 3 words are. First word, grateful. You need to be grateful for who you are and what you have accomplished so far and what you will accomplish. Be grateful for all the teachers. I spent 22 years teaching, so be grateful your teachers, that they may help prepare you for college or whatever path you have in the future. But last but least, be grateful to your parents, for they are always be the ones to help mold you into the young men you are now and later. The second word is friends. If you show me your friends, I will show you your future. When you're put in a difficult situation, don't be afraid to speak up. If it doesn't seem right, most likely it is not right to do. Be a man and stand up for what you know is right, and don't be the one that just goes along with your friends are telling you to do. The third and final word is work. Don't be afraid for work for what you want. It's true. All good things come with work. The more you put into your work, the greater the reward. This is your future, and you deserve the very best. So I know you all can and will do the best of your ability. We, the staff, and there's about 85 staff members that takes a week of their year. None of us are paid. We all come here because we like it. And we, the staff, want to make this a week that will change your life. Another great benefit of being the director, or the leader, as you want to call him, is you get to name your assistant director. You got a little input of who it can be. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my director, my assistant director. When I retire, he'll be the director. I keep telling him it's next year, but he won't let me.
Be a long time from now.
Robbie Robinson.
First thing, we have some sad news to report this evening. As you noticed, our flag is at half staff. Does everyone know what that means? Half staff. Last night in Orlando, 50 Americans were killed by a bomb. ISIS has claimed responsibility for that. The president has ordered the flag to be flown at half-mast until Thursday at sundown in honor of those people in Orlando. Unfortunately, that's the times in which we live in. So what I'd like to do that's going to deviate a little from our program tonight, I would like to have everyone stand so we can have a moment of silence for those that perished. Thank you. You may be seated. What we're going to show you tonight is a few Americanism ceremonies that we do in the American Legion. I'm going to turn the mic now over to Mr. Jacob McCarty. He is the IT coordinator, director here at Mountaineer Boys State, and he's going to start off our ceremonies.
Here at the American Legion, Mountaineer Boys State, you will say the Pledge of Allegiance numerous of times before you leave. This is our pledge to our country. You hear it a lot, just 31 words. What does it mean? Please listen to the following words and think of these things the next time you recite our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
I promise to be true
to the flag
to the sign of our country,
of the United States of America,
Each state that has joined to make our country.
and to the republic
The republic is a country where the people choose others to make their laws for them. The government is for the people.
for which it stands,
the flag means the country,
one nation,
A single country.
under God,
People believe in a supreme being.
indivisible,
the country cannot be split into parts,
with liberty and justice
With freedom and fairness.
for all.
For each person in the country, you and me.
The pledge says you're promising to be true to the USA. Again, the Pledge of Allegiance is more than just 31 words put together in order to form a perfect sentence. It's something you're promising to uphold. It's something that you freely accept. It's something that through history, Americans have held dear to their hearts. is something Americans have died for. It's something you should recite with the utmost pride and respect. You're pledging to yourself as an American. Remember these things. We will now have a special ceremony to honor those service men and women who are sometimes forgotten. If you notice, there is one flag off by itself, alone. That flag is the Missing in Action Prisoners of War flag. This ceremony is for our nation's MIA and POW veterans. I call your attention to the small table, which occupies a place of dignity and honor. It will be set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. They are referred to as POWs and MIAs. Remember, we call them comrades. They're unable to be with their loved ones and families, so we join together to pay humble tribute to them and to bear witness to their continued absence. Let us remember. The table is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against their oppressors. Let us remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Let us remember. The single red rose in the vase reminds us of the families and our loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith, awaiting their return. Let us remember. The red ribbon, tied so prominently around the vase, is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn on the lapel and breast, and many bearing witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our missing. Let us remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Let us remember. The salt on the plate is symbolic of the tears shed by those who wait. Let us remember. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us. The chair is empty. They are not here. Let us remember. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope, which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors to open arms of a grateful nation. Let us remember. The American flag, the armed forces flags, and the MIA POW flag reminds us that many of them may never return and have paid the supreme sacrifice to ensure our freedom. Let us remember. The Bible reminds us to pray to the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifice. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families. Please rise for the playing of taps as a tribute to all of our departed comrades who have joined the post-everlasting throughout our nation's history and remain standing for a prayer to our veterans. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the brave men and women who have sacrificed through the years defending our nation. We ask that you bless all veterans, past, present, and future. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen. Please be seated. This concludes our ceremony, and I ask, if you see a veteran, tell him or her thank you. Also remember those who cannot be with us today because they're missing, prisoners, hostages, or gave the ultimate sacrifice.
That music you just heard, you're going to hear that a lot while you're here at Boise State. You're going to hear it at least once a day. That signifies lights out. But there's a whole story behind those notes that you just heard. That song was got from the French. It's believed to be from a French bugle call called Tattoo. It notified all the soldiers to stop their activities, turn out the lights, and go back to their quarters. The revision that you heard today came to America and was changed during the Civil War. General Daniel Butterfield decided he didn't care that much for the French version of the song. So he decided to call his bugler, who was Oliver Norton, and ask him to play with the notes and see if he could come up with something different. Well, they did, and they began to play it. Well, back then, when one unit played it, another unit would pick up the song and play it, and then another unit, and another unit, and another unit. Even the Confederates picked it up. So, as they went on, they started using it for funerals, playing this song, because they didn't want to give away their position by doing a volley of 3. So they would play the song. Well, 10 months after the song was named as the funeral song, it was played over the grave of General Stonewall Jackson. Today, that song signifies the end of the day, lights out. We use it when we retire our flag, and we use it when we lower our flag. Now, the most documented version of this song to be used at a funeral was in a place not far from here. It was in a place called Harrison Landing, Virginia. There was a battle going on, Union on one side, Confederate on the other. A Union captain heard a moaning on the battlefield. So he decided he was going to try to help the person. It was almost dark, so he couldn't really tell if it was a Confederate or a Union soldier. However, he crawled out on the battlefield and dragged the soldier back. Well, when he got him back, he noticed the soldier had died. Well, he got a lantern, and he looked, and he went into shock. Because the soldier he pulled off the battlefield was his own son. His son was in the South studying music when the war broke out. And he didn't bother to tell his dad that he joined the Confederate Army. Well, the father, of course, distraught, went to his commanding officer and said, I would like to have a funeral dredge to play for my son. Well, they said, we can't do that. He's the enemy. We can't do that. He's the enemy. But they talked about it, and out of respect for the captain and the fact that it was his son, they said, okay, we'll give you one musician. That musician he picked was the bugler, because in the pocket of his dead son's jacket, he found a little piece of paper with those notes written on it. And ever since that day, it got more and more prevalent for us to use that song as the funeral dredge. And we still use it for lights out. Now, here at Mountaineer Boys State, every night you will hear that. When you hear that, that means the lights should be out and activities have ceased. Okay? That's just some history on that. Now, we're going to have a ceremony now. If you notice, there's some decorations up here on the stage. And I want to tell you a little bit about the American Legion and these pillars that are up here. The American Legion was founded in 1919, after World War I, which was the war to end all wars. Well, we know that didn't happen. But it was brought up by a group of men that were in France, and they decided they wanted to have an organization that could take care of them and their families when they came home. So they formed the American Legion. In that time, they began building the largest and the oldest wartime veterans organization, which we still have today. Now, how Boys State ties in with this, in the 1930s, Adolf Hitler was making young pioneer camps in New Jersey. Well, the American Legion said, we're going to combat that. And there was a couple guys in the state of Illinois that said, we're going to teach our youth about our way of life. So in a cattle barn in Illinois in 1935, they started Boys State. Well, West Virginia kind of liked that deal. So in 1936, West Virginia had its first Boys State. West Virginia has the second oldest charter for Boys State in the nation. We are also the only program that can claim to have their camp at the same place that it started. Mountaineer Boys State has always been at Jackson Mill. This is the 79th year for American Legion Mountaineer Boys State. Been done right here the whole time. Now, I told you I was going to tell you a little bit about these things. 4 pillars is what the American Legion was built on. And of those 4 pillars, we're concerned about veterans, we're concerned about Americanism, we're concerned about children and youth, and we're concerned about defense. Those are what make up the 4 pillars of the American Legion. Now, the program that you're in right now actually is covered under all of them. Veterans started American Legion Boys State. We teach you Americanism while you're here. It's for the youth of our country, which is you. And by teaching you the things we hope you learn here this week, we'll have a stronger defense of our nation. That's what our organization is built on, and that is why they're here. Now, there's another ceremony that goes along with this that ties in with the pillars, and it's called our emblem ceremony. Now, I've already told you how the American Legion started and all that. Well, I'm going to show you. There's going to be some flags coming through the room here, and they're going to hold them up for you to see. Hope everybody gets a chance to see them. The first one is the American Legion emblem. The rays of sun form the background of our great emblem and suggest that the American Legion principles will dispel the darkness and violence and evil. The wreath around the center is in loving memory of those comrades who have lost their lives in support of the United States, and so that freedom might endure. The star, the victory symbol of World War I, is also a symbol of honor, glory, and constance. The letters US leave no doubt which is the brightest star in the American Legion's eyes. The outer rings, the larger two outer rings stand for rehabilitation of our sick and disabled comrades. The smaller inside ring denotes welfare for America's children. The inner ring, the smaller two emblems, set upon service of our community, state, and nation, and the larger of the outer, loyalty to Americanism. The words American Legion tie it all together, standing for truth, remembrance, constance, honor, service, veterans, and rehabilitation, children and youth, loyalty, and Americanism.
The American Legion Auxiliary was founded in 1919. This volunteer organization works side by side with the American Legion to assist veterans, communities, youth, and Americanism. There stands an emblem that is distinctive and ready to serve. Set against a gold background, symbolic of rays of the sun, and standing for the principles of justice, freedom, democracy, and loyalty, dispelling the darkness of violence, strife, and evil. The field of white exemplifies the hope of freedom. Unity and loyalty are represented by the unbroken circle in blue and gold. On a blue circle, in letters of gold, stands the name of the organization, American Legion Auxiliary, a proud name made significant by service to God and country in war and in peace. The words emphasize Americanism and service. The star of blue is the emblem of service in war. It is no less the emblem of service in the time of peace. The Sons of the American Legion was founded in 1932. It exists to honor the service and sacrifice of legionnaires. A Sons of the American Legion member must be a direct descendant of a wartime veteran eligible for the American Legion. There stands an emblem of honor, distinction, and heritage. The design of our emblem was taken from the emblem of our parent organization, but is oval in shape so as to be easily distinguished. The star in the center represents our country, and the 5 points of the star represent the 5-point program of the Sons of the American Legion. The sun in the background represents the Sons of the American Legion, and the rays represents the loyalty of its membership. The blue of the emblem, like the blue in our flag, stands for justice. The stars in the blue border stand for freedom and democracy. The wreath below the star is a memory of our fathers who willingly gave their lives for their country. The 10 points of the emblem represent the 10 ideals of every Legion son.
The American Legion Riders. This organization was founded in 1993. A small group of riders formed a group and have now become part of the American Legion family. They strive for the community, state, and nation. They follow the principles of the 4 pillars of the American Legion: veterans, youth, Americanism, and national security. The bald eagle is their emblem. The words above the eagle, American, the words below, Legion Riders, ensure that the eagle will always be a free spirit. The distinct emblem of the American Legion is at the heart of the emblem, which makes sure the pillars will be followed. Go. Now, when you put all 4 of those emblems together, you have what is called the American Legion family. That's all 4 of these groups working together, striving for these 4 pillars that are up here. It's very hard to beat an organization that has 5 or 4 different things that make one. That is the American Legion family that we support. Thank you. No. Not yet. Now, when you saw the guys and gals come up here, you noticed some of them had different color hats on. Some had a white hat, some had a blue hat, some had all kinds of different color hats. Well, the American Legion set rules in a national resolution as to what colors their hats mean. Well, some of the hats that you will see this week, first off, is you probably won't see one of these this week, but this is a hat for a National American Legion officer. Now, a Legion hat comes in this style. The national hat is maroon with gold piping and gold letters. On the one side, your state is on it. The other side is the emblem of the American Legion. On the other side, you put what your title is. This hat belongs to a past national commander. West Virginia has had the pleasure of having 3 national commanders. One in 1933, Lewis A. Johnson. One in 1952, Donald R. Wilson. And one in 1990, Mr. Miles Epling, who is currently the American Legion Department Adjutant. Now, West Virginia has had several vice commanders through history. Now, the most notable national vice commander is Mr. Jim Davis. As he told you, he was a national vice commander. So now you notice that I have a white hat on. That means that is the state level hat. It has the same rules. The emblem is on one side, and you put your title on the other side. The number is up here. That's the post that I belong to. And on the front is West Virginia's symbol. All West Virginia Legionnaires will have a Mountaineer on the front of it. That is our symbol. The next level coming down would be a two-toned hat. That is for our district level. You have the blue with the white gold piping, same rules, emblem on this side, where you're from, your title on the other side. The last hat for Legionnaires is the basic member hat or the post hat. And this is the same emblem, where I'm from, the post number, what titles you have, and the Mountaineer. Now, you noticed on all of these, they had some of these pins and things on it. Those are things that Legionnaires earn. Now, you notice there was none on this side. Nothing is put on this side of the hat, so as not to take away from the emblem of the American Legion. It has to be by itself and distinctive. Now, you've noticed we have some lady veterans here. Now, their hats hold the same rules as the men's hat. However, they're different. I guess because men have fat heads or something. But if you look, the ladies' hats are considerably smaller. But the same rules apply. The emblem, where we're from, the post number, the Mountaineer. This is a state hat. Then we would go with the district hat and the membership hat. All the same rules. Now that's for Legionnaires, both male and female. Well, if you notice, there were some other strange colored hats that came in. So I'm going to let Mr. Jacob McCarty tell you about those. And chances are some of you out here are eligible or will be eligible to be a member of who he's going to talk about.
So I'm part of the organization called the Sons of the American Legion. As a Sons of the American Legion member, we're here to honor the service of those who came before us. Our grandfathers, fathers, mothers, grandmothers. You have to be a male descendant of a wartime veteran. Now, SAL members can also be Legionnaires if they go on and join the service later on. So they can be dual members. I myself am not. If it's a dual member, as Robbie is, you wear your Legion hat first. He is a dual member, though, and a member of my squadron in Martinsburg. Along with our parent organization, we also have the different tiers. National, our hats for national, you probably won't see one of these this year either. Same layout. It has the Sun's emblem, the state on the one side. The Mountaineer is our icon. And on the other side, the office, this is the National Sons of the American Legion hat. It's gold with red, white, and blue piping, okay? This hat actually belonged to Jeff Ryman in the back, in the center, one of our counselors here. He served as the National Alternate National Executive Committeeman a few years ago. How many? A few. Second to that, you'll notice my hat as well as Jeff's now. We are 2 detachment level officers. That's a state level office in the state of West Virginia. So we have gold on the top, blue on the bottom, and the red, white, and blue piping, okay? So these are the state level officers. Jeff's currently serving as the detachment adjutant, and I'm currently one of the 3 vice commanders for the state of West Virginia. We also have a district, very similar, white top, lower blue bottom, and then the squadron level itself is solid blue, okay? So that's the Sons of the American Legion. I know that at least 97 of you are eligible to join our organization right now. If you are eligible to apply for the Samson Scholarship, you can join the Sons of the American Legion because the same qualification requirements exist. Well, if you're interested in joining the program, you can easily see any of us with the blue hats, Jeff, myself, Luke, you can see in the back. Also our membership, Randall and Bob and James Degg if he comes back. All of us are Sons members and will gladly work with you. We have a local squadron here based out of Jackson's Mills, specifically reserved for Boys State. It's called Squadron 200. So if you're interested in getting involved, becoming a member of the staff, staying involved that way, we can easily do that as well. So don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Well, I know. I know some of these ceremonies were a little lengthy, but we think that it was important to tell you that. We are happy that you're here. I mean, like Mr. Davis said, we're all volunteers. We do this because we want to. We do this because of you. We think you're worth it. Now, you got all excited in the assembly this afternoon, but now we got to get down to business a little bit and work. These were some solemn ceremonies that we went through this evening. I do want to tell you that every day this week, you will have some type of Americanism ceremony that you will see. The Americanism coordinator is going to come up and talk about that a little bit in a little while. But right now, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Randall Koshius, your administrator. And gentlemen, thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Robbie. All right, guys. What I'm going to do right now is have you stand up, take a stretch, wake up, get some air moving. Howdy doody. All right, can I have your attention? At this time, I'm going to call up our athletic and inspection coordinator. He is going to talk about athletics and inspections. I'd also like our bank coordinator, Corey Robinson, if he's available, to come up, because Corey is going to talk about the mechanics of our bank, how it works, and that sort of ties in with a financial initiative that we have for you, that our chief inspector and our athletic coordinator, Todd Morgan, has going on. So we're going to talk about inspections, we're going to talk about athletics, we're going to talk about our financial exercise that's happening with Todd and Corey. Todd, thank you.
Well, guys, welcome you here. First thing you guys going to do in the morning, I know you're not going to like it, but you're going to get up and clean your cabins, because I'm going to come around and look at them and inspect them and give you a grade on them every day this week. You know, and that goes towards the best cottage of the week. So it's just as easy for you guys to clean this cottage and doing it right instead of doing it wrong. Exactly how to do it's in your manual. You just follow that manual and we'll get along great on your scores. Next, we go to athletics. We're going to play athletics 3 times on Monday, 2 times every other day, except on Friday, which we're going to have a tug of war on Friday. We'll draw, see who pulls against each other, and whoever wins that gets to pull against the counselors. And the counselors have never lost. So it gives you something to think about this week. We have 5 different athletic events. We play sand volleyball, we play hard court volleyball, we play basketball, frisbee football, and softball. There's a schedule in your program in your manual telling you exactly where to be and what time. You just show up and be there and play. All you have to do is participate. And by participating, everybody that shows up for those events will get a white ticket. These white tickets will help you have a chance to win money on Friday evening. We're going to give $1,000 away in cash. And you want to hold on to these tickets. When you get one, they're as good as gold. So make sure you keep a hold of them when we draw on Friday night at the talent show. All the athletic events will have them. Banking events, band, everybody will be getting tickets during the week. So hold on to your tickets because we'll be giving money away on Friday evening.
I just want to clarify one thing on the financial initiative. You'll get these tickets if you get a job, too. Here's the deal. You're applying for these jobs. We had 5 jobs. So if you end up being a state trooper, DNR, National Guard, banking, emergency services, one more, what am I missing? Journalism. If you end up doing that job,